Greetings and salutations, my wonderful freaks. This is your Uncle Necro, and I welcome you all back to the Tomb of the Terrible. This is the podcast in which we watch B-grade movies and torture you by talking about them. It's season 2, so you know what that means. Tonight, I am joined by the regulars, Del, Raz, and Our Lady Friday here. Ladies, gentlemen, the film we are about to discuss tonight is an homage to No Reason, that most powerful element of style. I am speaking of the 2010 horror comedy Rubber. Now, reading from the back of the DVD cover here, Rubber is the story of Robert, an inanimate tire that has been abandoned in the desert and then suddenly and inexplicably comes back to life. As Robert roams the bleak landscape, he discovers that he possesses the terrifying telepathic powers that give him the ability to destroy anything he wishes. At first content to prey on discarded objects and small desert creatures, his attention soon turns to humans, especially a beautiful and mysterious woman who crosses his path. Leaving a swath of destruction behind, Robert becomes a chaotic force and truly a movie villain for the ages. This is the second time I've seen it, and Raz, you told me you've seen it how many times?
Over a dozen.
Over a dozen. Jenny, how many times have you seen this? Just the once, or
1.5?
1.5. Interesting.
Joshua?
Same.
We
Same.
didn't have it until yesterday.
And Del, this is your first time watching it?
Yeah, it's been on my list since it came out, but I never got around to watching it.
I think I remember discussing it with you at one of our pub nights.
Yeah, Maddie had seen it. Everybody I know had seen it, and they were all like, "You need to watch it." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm suggesting it to people. I just haven't gotten around to watching it myself yet."
Okay.
But yeah, it was my first time.
Proselytizing the movie without actually having watched it. Wow.
Like,
that's the kind of
you know what I mean?
So this movie, again, kind of like the final. It's not necessarily a bad movie. As a matter of fact, it is a very good movie, but it's not exactly for everybody. It is, as far as the humor goes, it is quite absurdist. You have to have a certain level of disconnect with reality just to go, no, okay. Because we're talking about literally a tire that comes to life and kills things and people with, psionic mental
powers.
Right, psychokinetic powers. And there's at the beginning of the movie, there is a monologue that explains everything, so you can just go, okay, whatever, that just happened.
I believe Raz has it memorized.
The monologue. Right. I've actually done this monologue to get roles before, like back when I'd say last time I did was about 2 years after the movie came out, because I had it memorized, and I have different monologues that I'll memorize and use for like different like casting calls and stuff. And for any of I would actually use it more for dramatic roles, believe it or not. As odd as it is, that's what I tended to use it for. And I landed a good 3 or 4 like small roles by using that monologue. It really is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Like the whole ode to no reason. I feel like it's the whole point of my existence is no reason.
Could you deliver the monologue?
Yes.
Oh no, I am way too exhausted today to even begin to deliver that monologue. I can read it, so I can perform it for you, but I can't. My brain is soup, dude. Like 9 hours to the haunt yesterday, then our 3.5 hours show, then another like 4 or 5 hours to the haunt today.
Oh, okay. Damn. It's really good that you should watch the movie.
Give me a second, and I'll find it. I know where it's at. That's where I kind of cribbed it for the introduction here. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, so when I was watching it, the first thing that came to mind to me, and I stick with this, having seen it all the way through, is that somebody who's good with impersonations needs to It'll need some cuts made, but they need to do the David Attenborough cut and have it be like this tire, alone in the wilderness. Like all newborns, it has to figure out how to wobble, how to walk, how to find its way, what is dangerous, what is not. It doesn't have a parent of its species to show it around, so it's experimenting and learning its own powers and going through, and I think that would just be gorgeous and
Right.
so hilarious and fun.
Yes.
To
So I do
do.
have the monologue up because I actually have it bookmarked.
Oh,
That's how many times I have either
See.
recited it for some reason or yeah.
I do have it up here too. So
Whichever.
I'll grab it.
like.
Okay.
Let's see.
Whichever one of you wants
In the
to do
Steven
it.
Spielberg
I'm
movie E.T., why is the alien brown? No
no
reason.
reason.
In Love Story, why do the two characters fall madly in love with each other? No reason. In Oliver Stone's JFK, why is the president suddenly assassinated by some stranger? No reason. In the excellent Chainsaw Massacre by Tobe Hooper, why don't we ever see the characters go to the bathroom or wash their hands like people do in real life? Absolutely no reason. Worse, in The Pianist by Polanski, how come this guy has to hide and live like a bum when he plays the piano so well? Once again, the answer, no reason. I go on for hours with more examples. The list is endless. You probably never give it a thought. But all great films, without exception, contain an important element of no reason. And you know why? Because life itself is filled with no reason. Why can't we see the air all around us? No reason. Why are we always thinking? No reason. Why do some people love sausages and other people hate sausages? No fucking reason. Come on. Don't waste your time explaining that garbage. Let's go. 1 minute, let me finish. Ladies, gentlemen, the film you're about to see today is an homage to the no reason, that most powerful element of style. Why do they destroy all those chairs? Quiet, please. And that's kind of when it starts to fade off, and then he jumps back in, and he gets back in the car, and they drive away.
Well, you're forgetting the water dump.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the water dump. But that's basically the majority of the monologue.
Yes.
This is being delivered by a man who crawls out of the back of a car after knocking over a bunch of chairs. He's a cop.
And
Yeah.
by
Sheriff or
back of
something
the
like that.
car, we mean the trunk.
In the trunk,
Okay, so this
Yeah.
is-
in the boot of the car.
Das Boot.
Goes up, gets a glass of water from the window, delivers the monologue, pours out his water, and then crawls back into the trunk of the car
Yeah.
and leaves.
And they hit all the chairs, and
And
why
then
does
we're-
he do this? No reason.
No reason.
he's deadpan. He's very serious. He actually brings like a gravitas, like the way he like delivers this monologue. It's like really important. Like he's taking the whole thing so seriously, despite all the silliness that's happening.
Right. Then we're introduced to what is essentially the Greek chorus of the movie. Just a bunch of people with binoculars watching. Well, they call it the movie, but they're really watching everything unfold and in real time in front of them. They sleep during the nighttime, then they wake up. It's all really very interactive. If
You pass binoculars around so you can see the
Right.
tire and what he's up to.
make little comments, that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Nobody brought food.
Yeah.
And
The thing is
Little-
that this movie was made for $500,000. You might say, why the fuck did they need this much money? If you know anything about cinematography, watch this movie thinking about the camera shots, the
Mhm.
angles they're using. I mean,
Oh, it's beautiful.
the most beautiful shot, series of shots in the entire movie, believe it or not, is of Robert rolling through the sand and then rolling down the road. Like the way these shots were done were literally like this was like Hollywood level, like cinematography on like $500,000 or something like this is still considered low budget. It's still considered it's the shoestring budget for what they were trying to do. And you can
Mhm.
tell they didn't spend a lot of money in a lot of other places for good reason, though. The big thing about this director is he does art films, and a lot of them are comedies, like like really weird things, but they're all satires for some reason or another. One of the more recent ones he did in 2022, it's "Smoking Causes Coughing" is the name of it. It's also a up comedy making fun of the Power Rangers because it's a group of people called the Tobacco Force that are fighting against people, and it's I just watched it a couple weeks ago. It's fucking hilarious.
I
But
need
like
to
all
find
the
this
stuff he does
movie.
is like that. It's like a comical version of what Romero did with all the Of the Dead movies.
Okay.
You know, they're social commentaries. That's what all the Of the Dead movies are, and that's what this director specializes in. And everything is filmed in France. He typically uses American cast, or at least actors that have good American accents. That's also in some ways to make fun of Americans and a lot of the broad claims that are made in America that are just absolutely ridiculous.
Going back to the cinematography and how well it was shot, it's not like the camera follows things, so it kind of reminds me of playing like a real shooter game, any of those sort of 3D games, which make me sick. I can't do them. Um, but it's gorgeous, but I actually got motion sickness from the last the very end of the movie.
I could
The
see
last
that. Yeah.
about 5 minutes. I get motion sickness in cars sometimes, and I started getting sick watching it. It's good. It's just it's that good.
You feel like
that-
you're rolling along with the tire is the thing, but like and it's a stapled cam and everything. It's just the way they do it. I
Yeah.
can totally see why that can make you sick. Yeah, having been in a car with you for a very long time, I can see why that would that would get you.
Yeah.
And also the music. The music was
Yeah.
also very well done. A lot of it was the whole score was like created again from nothing. Like that's another big thing about his movies, as silly as they are. Like the cinematography and the score are always like just straight top notch with everything he does. And you have this
Okay.
ridiculous premise, but the most beautiful, like well thought out music and shots just happening in front of you, and you're trying to put it together in your mind. Like, why does this look so beautiful, and why is this subject so rubber?
It is
So
a
absurd.
yeah, it is a very absurd movie. I had started cooking dinner through part of it, and then I got Josh to rewind it to where I started to make sure I understood. Well, tried to understand what I was
There's
seeing.
no
And
reason. That's all you needed to know.
I agree,
No reason.
and I agree with the whole. I kept having to look away because yes, did get nauseous as well because those first-person games. I love them so much, but I usually end up doing the same, losing everything. But I loved how we followed the tire. It was interesting, and I refuse to try to explain to a 3-year-old that we can't fix the broken animals because he kept running back and forth and would only see parts of it. It's
The
a
rabbit broke.
He did
Spectacular.
from the inside out.
We're
the
talking
rabbit
Watership Down levels of
The
just
bird broke.
but,
That poor bird.
yes, it was a interesting journey to see him go through and do all the things. And sorry.
Sorry.
And,
No, you go. I'm being horrible.
okay, sorry. And amass friends, so to speak, as he went.
He did. And fun fact about Robert, he was actually a tire from a car that first belonged to David Cronenberg.
okay.
That's not true at all. I'm just going to the whole Scanners thing because
Okay.
David Cronenberg directed Scanners, and Robert can make your head explode by thinking about it.
Right.
Okay.
Probably
As
thought
you
out
do.
joke. My bad.
The David Attenborough thing came to me though because he starts off and he's like sitting up in the dirt and he's trying to learn how to roll and move over things and he'll fall over. And then he gets up and he's wobbling around a little
Mhm.
bit.
Like a
he comes-
gazelle almost.
Yeah, and then he comes across like a plastic bottle and he's trying to figure out if he can get over it, and he kind of crushes it when he goes over it. So it's like, okay. Then he sees a scorpion, and it's like, and now he has seen a predator. First, he has learned to overcome the landscaping around him. Now we see a predator. What shall he do? And he rolls over and crushes the scorpion. It's like, aha! Robert is beginning to discover his place in this nature, or this natural world. And now, another obstacle. In this case, it is a beer bottle, and Robert tries to crush it. He cannot. Robert ponders what to do, and suddenly, the tire starts vibrating. The bottle explodes. Robert has learned how to encounter new enemies that are tougher than what he can run over. He actually goes up to a puddle of water and drinks a little bit, and then finds some shade for the evening. and falls asleep underneath a tree. And then he begins his journey into the world. And it's so just goddamn cute. And then he starts blowing things up. And it's fun as hell.
Your face
Well,
has been frozen on
to go
screen for a
through.
while, and to let you know, like the expression you're making in the frozen screen is so hilarious that I totally just screenshotted it for you so you can see it later.
Thank you. I don't know what's going on. I'm on my new internet.
At
It
some
happens.
point, you're going to have to find out where the tower actually is and point it at the tower, the front of it.
It says
Well,
I have
she's
like
getting
4 bars out of 5.
Yeah.
yeah, she's getting really good speed, like really good upload and download speed compared to what she had.
Well,
Yeah, it
you s-
just hates me.
you say David Attenborough. I keep thinking maybe Marlon Perkins from Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Wild Kingdom. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
More-
going back some. That should tell you my age, people. Old school.
Oh, I watched it too.
Wrong with
Yeah.
your age.
One of the
I'm
things that I
49.
love, when he's about to start, like when he starts learning the psychic powers,
Yeah.
that vibration, like you were talking about him vibrate, like you can see the tire walls just go, whoa, 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 and the sound,
Yes.
like, oh my god, that's just the example of like a great like sound that they use in that movie. Like it was memorable. Like that sound was memorable.
I want to know what Foley effect they used for that because that was rather cool.
First time I watched it, when the bunny just popped, I had to pause it because I was laughing too hard.
Yep,
Yeah.
same.
It's just the way my mind works. I know it's a movie, and I know it's not really a rabbit blowing up, but still, it was
It catches
hilarious.
you off guard because you didn't
Yes.
expect it.
I mean, then there was the bird, and rolling down the road, when he starts popping heads, that's when things really start getting interesting.
I mean, a lot of the people he kills in this movie, like I wasn't sad to see him die.
Well,
Nah.
no,
I didn't
he
even feel
does-
bad for the bunny. You know, I feel like everything he killed was reasonable.
I felt
He
bad for the
does-
bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bird a little bit. Yeah.
I
Well-
think King Arthur could have used Robert.
Honestly,
He's
Honest-
round. They could have set him right there on the table when they were done.
put him against the rabbit. What?
It's okay. I know Tim the Enchanter. We got
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think the scorpion really had it coming though. He was just garling around doing what scorpions do. It didn't even like try to sting Robert.
You see, Robert's mother used to read different like books and short stories to him when he was just a little baby tricycle tire. And one of them was the parable about the frog and the scorpion. And he just saw the scorpion. He was like, "No, I'm not fucking with that today, buddy." And he just ended it before it was a problem. Otherwise, he was going to ride the tire, and then he was going to stab Robert, and it was a whole ordeal.
I just took it as a learning experience of what to do with something approaching and another moving being.
Threat. Yeah.
Yes.
And that scorpion
Okay.
was threatening as it approached because the tail was coming up.
It wasn't a happy scorpion.
It was a threat of violence.
Yeah, maybe it's one of those scorpions that can wag its tail. Like, I'm friendly.
It was a pet scorpion.
Oh,
Yeah. Something's rolling up on me in the desert. Hello.
hi, will you be my friend? Oh,
Nope.
poor thing.
Guess not.
But yeah, then Robert gets a little obsessed with the first woman that he meets. And
He tries to blow her up, but he's not strong enough yet.
Yeah.
no, what?
He only kills her car.
Yeah. But then he learns about love in the process.
Or at least obsession.
Yeah. I mean, it's all the same to a tire.
Okay.
I
Sure.
love that the Greek choruses you put them were great too because it would bounce back. There were so many walls that were broken here. I think they got through the 4th, 5th, and 6th. or
Oh, yeah,
something,
easily.
As they meta hop around everything, but they're like the commentary from them as they're watching what's going on is just brilliant. As they, there's a shower scene because there's a shower scene in every movie for no reason.
Gratuitous
And-
butt scene.
And is he gonna get laid? It's like he's a tire. Well, she's got a nice. She's not got that nice of an ass. Oh, she's got a better rack. Shut up! I want to see if he gets some action. And it just keeps going. I'm just
I mean, he brought a rubber.
Wonder if she's gonna give her.
He was. Oh boy, I here I am thinking nobody's made the obvious. It was totally radial type of joke.
Oh, that's a good one too. I like it.
Okay, but I should point out that the actual Greek chorus themselves were poisoned halfway through, so all of them die except for the one guy in the wheelchair who seems to understand what's going on behind the scenes,
Yeah,
but he doesn't
somehow.
tell anybody else. So when they bring the poisoned turkey to him and everybody's all hungry because it's been a couple of days and you tend to get hungry without bringing any snacks or anything, they all leap on the turkey and devour it, and it's been poisoned. So everybody dies except for him because he didn't touch the turkey.
From the
and there's
comments
this
that he made,
mysterious man. Oh, sorry.
I was just saying, from the comments that he made, though, I got a vibe that he had not seen this particular show before, but he had like perhaps seen a show put on by these people of another subject.
Perhaps.
Like that's the kind of the vibe that I got from him. Like not that he was in on it per se, but he had some kind of experience with them beforehand.
Might have to watch other movies that they have made and see if he's in any of the others.
There are.
Worth looking into.
This is the third movie he's made.
Yes, so that's there's two
maybe.
others.
There's
Perhaps.
way more than two others. He's done at least 10 movies that I could think of.
All I can say in the position I am in, I have to trust the man in the wheelchair.
See, I question. There is a mysterious man who initially, while they're all roped off in the desert, like with cinema, the velvet roping kind of
Right.
stuff.
Right.
Can't remember what it's called. A mysterious man hands them all binoculars and is telling them what to do, and then he keeps coming and going throughout the movie, and it'll show like him in his hotel room, and he gets a phone call and he's speaking to his master about doing things, and that makes me, who is the master behind all of this, you know? Okay, yeah, I'll get right on that. And maybe the guy in the wheelchair was the master. He had a hearing aid in and stuff, but maybe it was some higher form of tech that he was using to.
I'm going to call Occam's razor on this and just say it's the guy in the trunk.
I can understand that.
I can tell you that he has written and directed 16 movies, and one's coming out, and a 17th is coming out shortly.
Wow.
Of those, he has done the cinematography for 13 of them, including Rubber.
Wow.
Nice.
I'm looking at his awards right now to see what all awards he's won. To see actually what awards, because I think he won something for Rubber. I swear he did. I know he won a couple for this year for the Smoking Causes Coughing.
Mm-hmm.
But he's won 13 awards and been nominated for 29 different awards.
I should actually look into seeing if we can find any more of his movies online.
Yeah.
This one was on Max, so I was able to watch it.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like he was a 2010 winner for the Grand Prize of European Fantasy Film in silver. Mm-hmm. He was the official Fantastic Panorama selection. Also that year, they won the Citizen Kane Award for Best Directorial Revelation. At the Odessa International Film Festival that year, they won international competition for the movie in general. It was the best movie in 2010. And I'm trying to see if there's anything else for Rubber. The Puchin International Fantastic Film Festival, they won the best in 2011. In Warsaw, they were only nominated for the Free Spirit Award. And that's it for Rubber. It seems like a lot of them won for Rubber, but the most of them were for a film he did called Reality. There was Deerskin, and then of course Smoking Causes Coughing. But the other one worth mentioning, if I think there's one you guys should probably see, and I've not seen this in a little bit, it's called Mandibles. Basically, these guys are driving around and they hear something in their trunk, and they get out and there's a giant fly in their trunk. It's like a puppet fly, and it talks to them, and they go on adventures. They're trying to teach it tricks and teach it skills so they can make money. It makes about as much sense as Rubber does, but it's just as funny.
Okay. Well, we'll put that on the list here. And yeah, about midway through, they kill off the most of the Greek, all of the Greek chorus except for the wheelchair guy, and then they go back to the motel in the middle of the nowhere where they're investigating all the sudden dead bodies showing up, and then the lieutenant just kind of stops and goes, "Okay, we're finished. It's done. You guys can stop doing this now." And everybody else is just, what do you mean that? Well, this is all fake. That's not really a corpse, but it turns out it's still a corpse. So he figures out, okay, there's one guy left. We have to keep doing this. Crap.
Yeah.
And so wackiness ensues. They try to take him out, and there is this, without giving up too much, there is this scene where Robert the tire is rolling right by a big tire fire, and then it flashes forward to like 3 days later, after what appears to be a freaking massacre, and he's just watching NASCAR on a television, and
Watching his peeps
I'm
racing around.
I'm just
You know.
brilliant, just great little way of hinting at it and letting your imagination imagine what has happened between then and now.
I also
mean,
loved the part with there's a kid, not like a little kid, but would you say like 13-year-old, something like that, maybe 14-year-old kid at the what?
12,
Yeah.
13.
Yeah.
Who I think his dad runs the hotel or
Yeah.
something, and he's there and he sees, Dad, I saw a live tire. Shut up, quit wasting my time, keep sending him on. And
Get me a
the
pizza.
tire get the tires, like, watches the girl swimming, so it hops into the swimming pool later, and he's like, get this tire out of here, go get your friend tire. And the tire finally rolls around, and the kid's sitting there sad, and he looks at me, he's like, you are alive, I saw you, can you speak to me, do you speak? And there's like nothing. He's like, can you tell me yes, no, I'm me, human, yeah, you tire. And the tire just pulls up. He's like, wait, talk to me, please. And it's like, you think there's going to be this, like, E.T. moment or something where it's like the tire bonds with the kid, and then the tire's just like, Robert's just like, fuck you. I'm not going to kill you, but fuck you. And just goes on its merry way.
Throws the can
So,
at him.
yeah.
So
Doesn't care. Robert
No.
don't give no shits.
No, he doesn't.
I like
Rolls
what the
it
kid
off.
did to the pizza, though.
Yeah.
so basically, there's an attempt to blow him up. It doesn't work. Then he's just taken out in one of the most mundane ways. And then he's reincarnated into a tricycle.
Yes and no, actually. In the end, he's actually reincarnated to all of those tires. All of them.
Okay.
His
Well, see,
spirit
I
has
thought
spread
he-
to all of them.
I thought he became like the tire messiah, and as the tricycle was riding down and waking and bringing into the flock all of the new tires to follow him, as he became like the lord of the tires.
So, in a way, but I imagine like let's use a Star Wars reference here for a moment. He basically became the force for all tires. Like when he died, his spirit was, his soul was released, and every tire, or actually, it's also Maximum Overdrive-ish in a way as well. But like his essence got split up into every tire within a certain radius. And yes, the tricycle was like the first one to be affected. It was just heralding the next coming of Robert, because Robert was part of all of them now, and they were all waking up. So they're technically all Robert.
So would you say this is a global thing, or it just spreads?
I would say it would have to
passes
be
by?
regional. I mean, if I had to
Okay.
guess, I would say regional.
All right.
But because it stops there, I mean,
But it's only tires that are abandoned. It doesn't show him taking over, like, because otherwise cars would be swerving and turning around and joining him.
Yep.
It's just tires that are not attached
true,
to
too.
anything except the tricycle.
And why was it those tires? No reason.
Good point.
Why didn't anybody question it? No reason.
No reason.
Why is there going to be a steel-belted apocalypse? No reason.
Yep.
And then, if you watch through at the very end, it goes back and starts showing that speech delivered again, the no reason speech. And as the camera pans, it's showing the strange guy who uh, started everything and was answering the calls and fed them the turkey and such. And it shows the gated off area, the roped off area where the Greek chorus had been standing, and there's no one there.
Yeah.
Behind it.
Yeah, it's kind of like an alternate angle from the opening soliloquy, if you want to go put it that way. But
Yeah, so then it's like, were those people ever actually there? Or
hmm,
were they all part of that guy's imagination? Or maybe ours?
Yeah.
no reason.
I like to go with, in a lot of our story things, every story needs an audience, so maybe that's why they were there, but then they aren't needed anymore, so they just weren't.
Yeah. There's a hilarious theory that Rubber is
Deep
actually a
thoughts.
sequel to Christine.
I could see that.
Okay.
It's a
I haven't
fan
seen
theory.
Christine for a long time, but
Basically, when Christine was reduced to the cube,
like
somehow,
a tribute, maybe.
somehow a tire fell out of Christine as it was getting crushed, and one tire somehow survived, and this was that tire.
Robert was a very nice tire. His tread was not very worn down or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
was a
wasn't
decent
brand
tire.
new, but
He had life in him.
Mhm.
Obviously.
So
This is one of those movies that just cracked me up, man. Like, I got to introduce this movie to my mom, to a lot of different people. And when you sit down and watch this movie with people, there's two reactions. They look at you like you're fucking nuts and they leave the room and they don't let you pick movies again. Which happened to me with several people, including my wife. Or, like my mom, they just cheered. They loved it. They laughed the whole time, like big grin on their faces. Like, this is so stupid. I can't believe I'm watching it, but it's fucking epic at the same time. Like, there's no middle ground with Rubber. There just isn't.
it was like the
Go
first
to your
time
lane.
I watched it, I kept thinking this is brilliant.
Yeah.
There
Same.
should be more like these. And the people that I talk to about this, they're kind of in the same mindset. I have to be picky about the people I tell about this movie. I mean, obviously, this is more of would fall in the slow burn kind of
definitely.
horror comedy. And I've always thought that there were two types of people in this universe: those who get Monty Python and those who don't. And
I
thus,
can agree with that.
something like this,
Yes.
obviously, I heard about it through the grapevine when this came out. That we still had this thing called video stores, and I managed to pick nice Raz in the background. Nice. You guys act like you've never seen the foot of God before. Now, I remember renting it the day it came out at the Family Video in Fremont. And I'm like, I've been waiting for this. And the attendant was like, what? Okay. It's about a tire. I'm like, yes, it is. And came back and was raving about it, telling everybody at work. And everybody was like, huh? But one guy I worked with understood. And so we were talking about that. And all the other people who wanted to talk about sports were very much displeased with this conversation. But I didn't let that come out. What I'm amazed at, I never did a written review of this. I searched on my blog, and it's not there.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if it just got lost between when I was shifting them from the Blogspot blog to the WordPress blog, because that happens sometimes. But I remember writing it out. And posting it somewhere, but it's not on my standard WordPress one. So I don't know. But now we have a good proper review talking about this, I think.
Right.
What
Oh,
were
yeah.
you supposed to say, Del?
I was going to say maybe you posted it on Facebook?
No,
Or-
because I always do post it on the blog and then copy the URL for the blog to put on Facebook. And the Twit face.
The Twit face.
Yes.
Twitch Face X.
Yes.
Yeah.
I I am not calling it that.
Twit face from Planet X.
Yes. So, final question, guys. Would you recommend this to everybody to watch this, or
Only our special friends. Only the very special people.
Hmm.
Because not everybody's going to enjoy it like we have.
yeah?
I would recommend it to everyone, either because I think they would love it or because I would think it would torture them. Either way, I win.
Yeah, but that would mean I'd have to talk to everyone.
Well, no, I'm like, hey, have you seen Rubber? You should see that, and I just walk away. That's it. Rubber. It's playing on Rubber 2010.
It's like coming across another fellow metalhead in the grocery store. You just, say rubber,
Yeah.
exchange a knowing glance, and then
Yeah.
go our ways.
I think Robert is my Patronus
You go
at this
so
point.
many wrong ways.
That is
What was
awesome.
That's
Robert,
Robert-
go so many wrong ways.
Mortal Kombat.
And could you classify all the deaths in this movie as drive-bys?
Technically, yes.
Kind of more roll-bys. I don't know.
Next time we physically meet again, Raz, we're going to have
Oh.
this.
Robert seemed very driven to me, so
Music video.
Uh,
Rolling.
I have a good theory that Fred Durst is going to be putting on a show at local Sunoco. That was the thing. Like everybody thought that he was going, like the Limp Bizkit, like in its prime, was going to appear at Sunoco, and this was a rumor on the internet everywhere. And it was actually a Sunoco that was local here in Dayton. And the day it was supposed to happen, the whole parking lot was filled. Parking lots nearby, like people were outside with signs, waiting for him to just show up. Like, the whole band to just show up and put on a performance at a gas station. Because at the time they were doing like these weird pop-up shows and stuff. And all these rumors were circulating in different cities, but like for some reason in our city, they thought it was going to be at a gas station. It was a nightmare. A riot ended up ensuing when they did in fact not show up.
Ooh.
So it's a big joke now. Every time you go by that Sunoco in town, it's now Fred Durst Sunoco.
Well,
Okay.
speaking of disturbing thoughts that just pop into one's head, I was sitting at the Fremont 7 theaters here in Nebraska, waiting for the movie Barbie to start, and for no reason whatsoever, what popped in my mind was, could it be that Fred Durst, for better or for worse, was America's last really great rock star?
Look, I don't know. Like it's a conversation divided. Like when they first came out, like I really liked them. I liked their first album quite a bit. Actually, I still own it. Still listen to it.
At first, I just thought there was just another, cocky dude bro doing, lanking on to what Rage Against the Machine started up with. But now that he's older, I'm wondering if it just wasn't, looking back, if it just wasn't just an act. Because behind the scenes, he seems to have a pretty good grasp on the business sense.
He does. I got a little bit more of like a Head PE or a Clutch vibe, I think,
Okay.
in his when they first came out. And then I had met him a couple times in different weird circumstances, like at shows and different things backstage. And he was a really nice and level-headed guy, like the first album. Then I met him again right after the second album, and a completely different person.
Okay.
And he was very cocky. He was the one. He kind of fell in the same vein as Scott from Creed, where he would walk backstage and people would surround him. And they'd say, "Don't look at him. He's not even here. Don't approach him. He would stop you." And that kind of started happening with Fred Durst too. And then of course he fired Wes Borland, which is the goddamn biggest mistake he ever made. And then he fell apart after that.
Wes Borland, for a while I kept wondering why Wes Borland was even part of that band, because
The
he's
first
just
album, it
great.
made sense. His sound in the first album was great for that, but then then became a joke.
So anyway, wow, that was a bunny trail. So yeah, if you're watching this and
Bunny
listening
goes
to this,
boom.
go ahead and find and watch Rubber. It's on Max. You can stream it on Max. It's very much worth your time. If
it's
you're
worth the $5. Pay the
Oh,
$5 on Amazon Prime, and you're good.
yeah.
Then you
Totally
own
worth
it.
owning, yeah.
All right. So do we have the Wheel of the Terrible set up?
We haven't done our official rating.
Oh, okay.
I can
I-
start getting that set up while we go there.
Sure thing.
Mhm.
Give me 1 second. Oh,
I'm gonna be a little bit
Season
tougher this
2.
time around. Like I was way too generous last season, so this season I'm still gonna go with the 1 through 5 rating, but for this one I'm gonna give it a 4.2 for me. 4.2 tires. So this season is all gonna be tire rating for me, because
Are they
Moose was Moose's.
Are they steel belted?
I mean, it could be if you want them to be.
White
They can be
walls
whatever
out?
you want, man. It's
White walls.
no
out?
reason.
Was
But,
it truly a good year?
Exactly. I'm gonna give it a 4.2 because last season I would have given this a 5 because I love this movie that much. But even for a satire, as great as the cinematography was, as great as the music, the sound effects, everything was, there were still times when the movie drawled on a little much. Like that, it probably could have been about 15 to 20 minutes shorter than it was.
Yes.
They relied at some points too much on exposition, and it wasn't even dry comedy. It was like a weird tongue-in-cheek chunk of exposition where you want to find it funny because there's funny elements to it, but it doesn't fully make that rotation,
Yeah.
to quite hit the mark. But I'd say because of that, 4.2 tires. Or 4.2
All right.
rubbers. There we go. That sounds better.
Actually, no. That sounds worse.
Exactly. That's what I said. Better.
Okay. So, Jenny, what would you guys give it?
I give it 4 turtles.
4 turtles. Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, I'll have to go with the 4 as well.
Or what?
Okay.
What is your grading system? He hadn't thought about that.
Exploded bunnies.
Yay.
Or exploded bunnies. We like exploded bunnies. That'll work.
Yay. Del?
It would generally be a 4 for me, but I'm going to go up and give it an extra quarter for the really like the artsy sides of it, the stuff with the Greek chorus and a little bit of the wall breaking. I'll give that an extra little point, so it gets to 4.35 desecrated pizzas.
There we go.
Okay. And I will give it a good solid 4 Michelin men.
4 Michelin stars. Ooh.
Well, 4 Michelin men.
I know. I was just thinking that Robert could open his own restaurant,
Right.
with your endorsement.
Whereas, fun fact, the Michelin man is white because tires used to be white. This is before vulcanizing.
Mhm.
So,
Vulcanizing. That's a fun word.
Vulcan side.
Okay, so we have set up. This was James's idea, UncleNecRo's idea. This is awesome. We are now setting up a wheel of the terrible, where we have selected different movies out of the humongous list of terrible movies.
I have a big list.
Yeah.
Not
Very,
going to
very
be doing
But
this
oddly
every
enough,
year.
the 80s classic B film Humongous is not on that list.
Well, I haven't discovered it yet, so
Oh,
we're
man.
going to have to stick it on the list.
It's all about
So
the
we've
blueberries.
been adding a couple of our own too, and we are going to spin the wheel of terrible, so that you guys will know what we are going to watch for the next show, which is. Are we going next week or 2 weeks out?
2 weeks. Yeah, we're
2
back
weeks.
on the
Okay.
every other week because next
Okay.
week will be Legends by Night.
And if anybody's watching this and you want to throw in something for the list, join our Discord, get involved. Have
Send
some,
us messages.
Yeah.
I want to have as much fun with everybody just chiming in as possible.
Oh yeah.
So tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell that living tire that keeps rolling by mysteriously.
Binoculars and turkey sandwiches for everybody.
Yes.
All right, here is our
Where this goes.
wheel. Is it up? Because I can't see.
I
Yeah.
can
See
see,
a wheel.
I see
Okay.
the wheel. Here we go. Spin, spin, spin.
Wheel of morality. Turn, turn, turn. Teach us the lesson that we should learn.
Wheel of the terrible. Turn, turn, turn.
The Tripper.
Tripper.
Oh.
Why Why don't you tell us a little bit about the Tripper?
The
So we know what we're
Tripper.
getting into here.
The Tripper. Actually, it stars Arquette, David Arquette, as a guy who goes around essentially he's the slasher axe killer who wears a Reagan mask, and he descends upon a bunch of ravers in the middle of the woods, and one of them happens to be Jason Mewes. So that's all I'm going to tell you.
It's an all-star
And,
cast though, because
Yeah.
Paul Rubens is in it, Thomas Jane, Jamie
Courtney
King,
Cox is in
Courtney
it, too.
Cox.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty. Yeah.
It's a movie.
I remember watching it on Halloween back in 09, maybe 010.
I own it.
You own it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Excellent.
It's a good
So,
movie.
yeah, 2 weeks. We're going to find a way for anybody else to watch it if you want to play along at home. So, until next time, see you guys later.
Peace. Good night.
Spay and neuter your friends.